A very good morning to our respected speaker, Dr. Amit Sharad, and all the participants. On behalf of Bharat Technology, on the sixth day of our 1 week FDPI, Supradeep Mandal, Associate Professor of Bharat Technology, welcoming you all on our FDP program on the topic Strengthening Academic Excellence, Faculty Development Program for the Outcome-Based New B.Pharm Syllabus. So without further delay, I want to introduce Dr. Amit Sharad with all of you. Dr. Amit Sharad serves as an associate professor at NIPER Ahmedabad, where he leads research on the design, synthesis, and computational evaluation of heteroaromatic molecules. His work primarily focuses on the identifying promising lead compounds targeting the tumor-associated M2 pyruvate kinase enzyme, which plays a key role in various cancers. Since joining NIPER Ahmedabad in 2014, Dr. Sharad has been at the forefront of developing N-heterocyclic scaffolds with deep expertise in the chemical synthesis. He also possesses extensive experience in both in vitro and in vivo experimental studies. Dr. Sharad has authored more than 75 publications across diverse domains in reputed journals, including the Journal of Medicinal Chemistry, Coordination Chemistry, Reviews, Drug Discovery Today, Bioorganic Chemistry, and Organometallics, among others. Sir, on behalf of Bharat Technology, again I will welcome you, and please share your presentation with all the participants.
So, am I audible, Dr. Mandal?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay. Yeah. At the onset, I would like to thank organizers of this FDP event. I thank Professor Dr. Biplab Devnath. I also thank all faculties and management of Bharat Technology, one of the leading educational institutes of West Bengal, which aims to provide quality education in B.Pharm, D.Pharm, as well as M.Pharm. I also thank Dr. Supradeep Mandal for a very nice introduction of mine. Thank you so much. I'm overwhelmed. I would also like to briefly start and would like to speak to all of you that today's FDP program is being organized by Bharat Technology, a leading institute of West Bengal. And it is my privilege that I'm speaking to the audience of West Bengal, and the intellectual worth of West Bengal is widely recognized, primarily stemming from Bengal's Renaissance and the region's exceptional contributions to literature, science, art, as well as philosophy. I'm very glad to participate in this FDP program, and please accept all of you my pranam and my greetings and what you can say that I'm very glad to speak to the cultural and intellectual capital of India. With this a little respect from my side, I would now like to start and coming straightway to the topic of today's discussion. And here are my slides, please. Dr. Mandal, can you please confirm if it is visible to everyone?
Yes, absolutely. It's visible, sir.
Yeah, fine. So I'm starting. So the today's topic that I have chosen is transforming pharmacy education for Viksit Bharat 2047. Multidisciplinary, skill integrated, and technology enabled teaching approaches. So first of all, coming to what is the fundamental vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. Very lately, there was a paper published in Angiochem International Edition, which got very high citations in very short interval of time, and it was widely recognized because it stated that in by 2030 to 2050, chemistry will be playing very vital role in four particular fields. Number one, energy. All of us know that here or there, most of the wars are being fought on the basis of energy. Second, power, means who is having more and more and greater ammunitions, arms, etc. Number three, safer food and water will always be one thing which mankind will be always craving for. And last but not the least, where chemistry can play a very vital role, is none other than healthcare. I am very glad to share that vision of Viksit Bharat considers healthcare as one of the most important national growth players. And this pillar, or without this player, a nation cannot lead ahead, because its fundamentals are always laid upon skilled pharmacy workforce. And you all are advocates of this particular profession. People or students get inspired from all of us on this field. And today we will be discussing all these things based on pharmacy workforce. So in the vision of the Viksit Bharat, Swasth Bharat or healthcare vision incorporates universal access, technology innovations, infrastructure and workforce should be updated, and health equity should be provided. Its fundamental reason is also this, that AI as in healthcare in India, its market is increasing and it will continue to surge throughout, because we are growing at a very progressive population. Our geriatric population is increasing at phenomenal pace, and it is also written and it is also well documented that by 2040, people across the globe, because of the very high utilization of the internet and mobiles and all these things, will stop going to doctors, or they will start avoiding doctors and all. So digitalization of the healthcare is one part that also NEP has taken into its account. And considering the same thing, what I would like to say that this is high time that we must redefine the role of pharmacists in India. And it is very much possible through multidisciplinary teaching approaches, where teachers of pharmacy, where all of us as educators can play a vital role. All of us must understand this point, that pharmacy profession is at a very transforming point right now. For instance, pharmacists should not be only prescribing the drug sitting in a particular shop and all, but they can take very serious as well as advanced roles in antimicrobial stewardship. All of us know that antimicrobial resistance is rising at an alarming pace. Escape pathogens are escaping almost all types of antibiotics. So here what pharmacy educators can do, pharmacy educators can lead certain programs, or even can educate their students not to endorse such type of practices, and even to educate the communities. The communities may be in and around their particular colleges, or their societies where they inhabit, and all of us can become a part of it. You or your pharmacy teachers can also become part of it in raising the antimicrobial stewardship campaigns, and to educate the people about the pitfalls of the antimicrobial or the antibiotic misuse. Second point is very important, where pharmacy educators can teach them that nowadays pharmacists have an expanded role. It is true, and this is a very common question that comes from our students also at NIPER, that with the resurgence of AI, our all jobs will be gone, where we will be going, and how we will be surviving down the line. We should always tell them, anything that has come to the fore, that has surfaced, it will also generate certain set of new employments. So we should not be scared of AI at all. Rather, we should be becoming an advocate of AI, and we should try to learn that what we can do in the field of AI, so that our employability is also not in question. Moreover, we should also reduce the timing that either a drug may takes place to hit the market, or we may raise awareness campaigns and all. Third point, which is very important and it should be seriously considered by all pharmacy professionals, is by 2050 India will be having approx 300 million elderly population. So with advancing age, multiple problems rising from arthritis, cardiac complications, cancers, and so many things appear. So you should also be making your future generations ready that what can be done before 2050 so that such type of geriatric population can be handled, because hospitalization and all will be inadequate for our growing and very very advanced population. So here also new courses, new diplomas like geriatric healthcare and all these sort of things may be floated upon, although it's a topic of sometimes else discussion, but these type of things may hit the very sharp minds of the pharmacy educators, and we all should take a call at it that whether can we prepare some practical and a need based diploma which is also having some in-field experience of the which provides certain experience to the students and all, and that will be very very useful for their employability also. Now, also, pharmacogenomics and precision therapeutics are increasing at phenomenal pace. Health economics as well as real world evidence is what need of the hour, and our pharmacy educators can teach them in a multidisciplinary way, so that at least whenever they enter the market or whenever they enter the field of the pharmacy profession, this word should never sound a very thing anything very new to them. So we must be exposing them to all these things. Moving ahead on the same line, while redefining the role of the pharmacists, it is also important that government of India is also recognizing the utilization of the telepharmacy and digitalization of the healthcare, because providing so many hospitals, providing so many doctors, nurses, and caring staff for the extremely high population of India is not possible. So digitalization of the healthcare records, how standard guidelines for treatments can be designed, how in the vernacular or the local languages it may be become, because everyone is using mobile, so everything should be known to the local public. Can we raise certain awareness campaigns? Can pharmacy educators, the bright minds of like Bharat Technology and others listening to me, even NIPERs also, can we make certain very well documented list of over the counter drugs, and can we translate into the local or the vernacular language after sitting with doctors and all, so that these type of small readables is there in each and everyone's mobile, so that before going to the pharmacist and taking any sort of drugs and all should be avoided. And such type of campaigns will be very very fruitful, because it will be directly catering to the public. Also, supply chains are increasingly becoming very very important part of pharmacy profession nowadays. For example, in Europe, they have started thinking of green supply chain managements. How green supply chain managements? For example, designing of the API, active pharmaceutical ingredients. We make anti-cancer drugs, but it is also an irony that while making these or synthesizing these anti-cancer drugs, we flush out a lot of halogenated solvent into the environment, which is itself carcinogenic. So on one way we are making a drug which is intended to act as anti-cancer. On the second hand, we are flushing out lots and lots of halogenated solvent into the environment, or even if disposing them here and there using halogenated solvent or carcinogenic solvents like toluene, benzene, and all these sort of things. So what we can plan, we can think of green supply chains, for example, designing the greener route of synthesis. So our educators must include one or two practicals of greener synthesis that may be very much possible in your own lab, using water mediated synthesis, using a phase transfer catalyst mediated synthesis, very cheap and readily available starting materials we may use, and then we may ask them to scale it up. Also, the packaging material should be also itself green, so that it should degrade after a certain period of time. So making such sort of awareness guidelines guidelines so that students are aware of supply chain integrity as well as its sustainability. It will not only save the environment, it will also be bringing very rich, handsome revenues to our country. And you may also inspire them to come into that field completely. And you can give them small projects also. For example, as also asked by the NEP to, so that they should be developing some research projects. So can they shortlist what are the biodegradable material can be there for the capsules and all, where they can be, uh, remaining safe as well as biodegrading after a certain period of time, because it will also be avoiding another social evil, which is the plastic that will be coming to the environment and hitting us back very badly. Again, re-emphasizing on the point of the redefining the role of pharmacist, another important point is this, that we as pharmacy educators are enablers of transformation. So we may assist them industry academia collaboration. For example, the small set of collaborations and giving them 1 week, 2 week training in some sort of industry will be, helping them in getting an essence of the real world problem. Then what are the tighter regulations that are coming? Each and every year, the environmental concerns are getting risen up, and they are becoming more and more tighter. We can also help them in participating the public awareness programs that might be very important. It's also important, you can see on the right hand side that there is a hospital bed and there are certain dummies, kids, and then some adults, they are being placed on the bed. Why I have kept this slide? Because in case of US as well as in Europe, they are saying that it is practically impossible to bring each pharma student to the hospital and providing them an in-house experience with the patients and all sometimes. Then what we can do some sort of simulation type of labs where we can have 1 or 2 beds in one particular room, and then where we can create some sort of emergency situation, what sort of drugs may be prescribed and where pharmacist can intervene. So that type of a simulation type of expertise to the students will be very very new to the students, although, but in US and Europe people are also have started experiencing this. What I would also like to request each one of you, including myself also, is we must raise campaigns to shift the perception of pharmacists from merely medicine sellers sitting at a particular shop to healthcare scientists. And through this platform, I also urge all of you and request humbly that please start addressing them not only as pharmacists, but also as healthcare specialists or healthcare scientists. And I believe that we must all campaign for this type of, vocabulary, because we should treat them as healthcare scientists, because whenever we will be addressing them as healthcare scientists, they will have a more sense of responsibility, and they will be also very much apt at developing, and they may also come up or surface up with the new sort of inventions and discoveries that might be awaiting and critically needed at our end. So global trends in case of pharmacy education as well as medical education that is increasing is competency based education. As well as in case of competency based education, we as educators need to identify that what type of competencies our students do have. Are they very good in synthesis? Are they very good in formulation? So we must create some sort of small assignments for them. We should keep on assessing them. I understand totally and fully conform to all of you that the whole batch won't be same, but at least we must identify those who are, at least even if 10% or 20% of population is that, we can expect something meaningful to come out of that discussion. Even that data may also serve as a starting point for us to approach the policymakers. In this way, your institute can also have a more wider acclaim, and it will be very, very useful to the very thickly populated country like us. And then we can provide them personalized feedback that you are very good in designing the synthetic routes which are very greener or sustainable, but you should also be thinking about what greener aspect you can bring in the packaging and supply chain management so that it should be consistent enough. So these type of things, once you will be educating them, will be very, very helpful. In case of competency based education, a student centered learning model is focused on mastering specific skills and knowledge rather than just a complete class. So the key components of this competency based education include defined competencies, mastery based programs, a flexible pacing. It means you can give some deadlines, and even if they are not able to achieve by that, you can give some flexible pacing, and then a personalized approach, because uh, considering your age, your experience and all, I believe that there will be certain outcomes, and you must be focusing on outcomes rather than a piece of document. And that outcome focused assessment will be very useful, and it is also a part of the NEP which has been laid upon very lately. And also, in the second point of it is the interprofessional training. I believe it is a part of skill integrated teaching approach. So here, what can be done here in case of interprofessional training? For example, a pharmacy student or a pharmacy graduate may also be employed in hospital settings. He or she may be employed in healthcare centers, primary healthcare centers. He, by working in versatile, he or she may be employed in QA/QC based industries for a shorter interval of time. By working in different fields, he or she may gain an insight that what are the challenges of that particular field, and then he or she might develop some sort of an interprofessional training, and then he or she can decide that where then I have to opt for M.Pharm. Whether I'm very much inclined in synthesis, then one can opt for medicinal chemistry. If one is having very good knowledge, or one is having very much inclination in formulation, then pharmaceutics might be a very good avenue for that student. So such type of interprofessional trainings will prepare them, because many times, in even at NIPER also, whenever we ask some students that how did you happen to choose medicinal chemistry, then sometimes they say that sir, to be honest, I was not too much fond of medicinal chemistry, but since I did not get a seat in pharmaceutics, so I thought that let us have, because someone told me. So it should not be by chance, rather it should be by choice. And these type of interprofessional trainings will be very, very useful for a skill integrated teaching approach. For example, because here you will be identifying the skill at which the student is very much interested in pursuing further. So also, it is a mandate, as I already told, that digitalization of the healthcare is need of the hour. So here pharmacists can play a very vital role, although the diagnosis and the prognosis of the disease is the work of the doctor. But digitalization of the healthcare, maintaining its records, and all these sort of things can generate new set of avenues as well as new set of options for our students down the line. And in the current Indian scenario, where NEP has laid upon certain guidelines, and I had read them all. So the major emphasis of the NEP lies in a multidisciplinary education, so that one should be aware with biotechnology principles, what are the regulatory challenges for a drug to hit the market, and then what are the flexibilities also, because they have some credit-based systems, and then internships are also possible. So I would also like to emphasize upon this point that in case of internships and all, you means as an educator and your students can approach the industry and can make a mutually benefit some sort of and curriculum, so that it should not only, they should not be serving as an working class for their industry and all, but it should also serve certain your long term vision, that what type of healthcare problem you are going to counteract down the line. So experiential learning, internships and practice based exposure are recognized, but at many places it remains insufficient because of infrastructure problems and then all these sort of things. But here I would like to add upon that experiential learning. All of you are very learned, you are having very rich experience and teaching them, and teaching a broader student class who belongs to different stratas. So it is also very important that you people understand that what are their requirements. So many times whenever it is not possible to approach some place or industry, I believe that virtual tours, or sometimes showing them a lab in total, even on youtube tutorial videos, etc., will be very helpful. And it will be at least giving them a some sort of simulation experience means they are not actually visiting that place, but at least they will have mind that how things are moving at a particular, because something is always better than nothing. And we should always be trying to cope up with whatever facilities or infrastructure do we have. So research and innovation has also got a very important part in this time's NEP policy, that emphasizes that undergraduate research and industry link projects should be here. I would like to uh, again quote China. Very recently, I was just reading an article, and it was really striking my mind. You might know, but I'm just telling it in case if someone has not gone through that. Normally, the procedure in case of Indian science as well as the global science is this: we try to work upon a particular hypothesis, we try to establish the hypothesis by means of n number of experiments and all, and then that thesis is lying at the shelf of the institute library or somewhere else, or a PI is particularly working upon that theme for years and years together, and after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line, we may focus upon certain product based upon that. We may not. So, each science is equally respected. Sometimes the sciences may be basic, and sometimes it may be applied one. If we work on applied chemistry, so I'm just talking about that sense, that we always think about that it might have certain applications down the line, 10 years, 15 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line. But what China has done, China, this year's policy, I was reading an article, it stated that now we will not be going from hypothesis generation, establishing the hypothesis by means of n number of wet lab or dry lab experiments, followed by waiting for the product for 5-10 years. We will straightway starting with the product to be formed, and problems, there are endless number of problems, not only in India but across the globe. I also like this approach very much. All of us as pharmacy educators might have certain long term goals, certain short term goals. What are the low hanging fruits that we can see? You people are very much intellectual, so what you can do, that you can just see that what are the low hanging fruits, what type of problem can be very shortly taken up, and it might have certain positive outcomes down the line. So China is working upon product centric approach rather than hypothesis, and then some sort of basic model that is being made. So we should also be taking an inspiration from that. Excuse me. So, moving ahead, all in all, Indian pharmacy education is structurally strong and policies aligned with the NEP 2020, but must now transition from knowledge based to competency and skill driven training. And this FDP is discussing that all. So, what benefits this multidisciplinary education will be imparting, and what NEP is expecting, that integration of the biotechnology. So we must also update ourselves time to time, that what are the biosimilars, what are the biologicals, what are the gene as well as the cellular therapies, what is the current status of the CRISPR-Cas9 system, is it being utilized to treat patients, how PROTACs are going to change the anti-cancer drug discovery. Likewise, in case of AI and data science, I must also make this thing very clear that although there is a lot of hype about AI, data science, and all, we must not forget that very recently Schrodinger had launched a campaign of drug discovery where the molecule was designed by the computational system, but it failed to meet the clinical promise. So it's not always like that, that whatever a computer will be generating and it will be bypassing everything. No, it's nothing like that. But how well we can use that AI based data to harness certain compounds which might be very useful for synthesis and their downstream modification, that should be taken into account. What pharmacy educators can do is you people can have some sort of tie up with, or you can request Schrodinger, MOE, and some other, these type of companies which sell and purchase, means which sell these type of computational softwares for drug discovery, to arrange some sort of 5 days 7 days AI based workshops, that they will have an in-house experience of how they can design a molecule, what sort of information is it giving, how large databases can be tackled. So that way it will be very important. It will give them a real world picture of how, from a very large data set, they can they can shortlist at what sort of molecules can be considered. Then they can have management as well as the entrepreneurship skills that may be developed into them, and they must develop and clinical and patient centric thinking, because the reason is this, that India's population is huge. So, and by 2050 we will be enormously populated. Our population needs very good healthcare facility, but in the remote locations healthcare facilities are very very nil, and we need to have such type of pharmacists which should act as healthcare scientists rather than merely selling the drugs. So they must be made aware. We as pharmacy educators can even run certain programs which can even be played on mobiles and all, that can even cater to the rural areas in local languages also, so that we can educate those pharmacists also which are located in the far flung areas and not in the settings like you. So it will be equipping the generations all together in a very better way. So what is the fundamental vision that how NEP thinks that biotech and genomics integration will be helping? So this is an era of the personalized medicine, because we need to understand the idiosyncrasies, the genotypes of the body. So pharmacogenomics might help us in understanding that what is particularly located in a particular gene set. For example, very recently, last year, I read an article in Nature that there is a family located in the southern part of the Iran, and they're all the four siblings, they are walking on hands, means forelimbs as well as hind limbs, and they are walking like the our ancestors, because they used to be running on forelimbs as well as hind limbs. So certain evolutionary biologists in US, when they got to know about this feature, they reached there and they started looking into that, is the evolution getting reversed? Is there some problem because of the changing environment and climate change and all? Is it possible that evolution might get reversed, or from human beings we will start walking on the four gate mechanism and all? But when they reached there, when they set hold a number of tests etc., they found that it was nothing like that, but they had certain genetic mutations which is not allowing their spine to be very straight. So they need only four or five of that family that is known till date, requiring a personalized type of medicine, personalized type of the treatment. So this is one part. This is only one such disease. There might be hundreds and hundreds of such diseases that might be representing a particular population. They may be located in Gujarat, they may be located in West Bengal, Delhi, and all. So we may, ask our students to come up with certain ideas that what can be better done, and it will help in transforming pharmacy education, because we will be working on the real world problems. So it will also be helping pharmacy students in a way that they will be able to better make clinical decisions, and their roles will be expanded and will be ready for the biotech as well as the clinical research programs. And with
Sir?
uh, yeah, my slides are visible.
Yes, 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 sir.
Yeah, sorry. So it might help them in a very very big way. And yeah, my slides are visible.
Yes, sir, absolutely visible.
Yeah, yeah, okay, fine. So I think this will also be equipping the pharmacy graduates. I do have 10-15 minutes more now, because yeah.
No, no problem, sir.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So also, uh, what benefits of the technology, in teaching enabled environments, we can also, as an educator, we can enable them, because in case of medical devices, India is heavily import dependent, and all these sort of implants, etc., that are going on, its genesis is either in US or in the western part of the world. So we must be developing our own medical devices and all. So as a pharmacist, or as an educators of this profession, we must tell them that this is heavily import dependent sector, and where we can even, we have a strong import dependence of almost, I think 35 billion US dollar in this sector. And we must be developing our in-house, or our under this Make in India initiative, medical devices, which may be very useful. And there are also some point of care devices like glucose testing, urine analysis, like fecal occult blood test that comes mainly from the Germany and all. So we must be teaching our students that these are the fundamental principles of the kits or the point of care devices. So can you think about something else which might be even representing it in a better way? For example, anemia is a very big problem in parts of Himachal. Even this is also very big part of a big problem in case of the Gujarat also. So can we make something indigenous which is even providing a very better, uh, and a very better alignment with the patient care and all? So if you will give these type of challenging problems to the students, so I think they will be also thinking about all these things. But we need to take certain sort of initiative, so this will also integrate them with the skill. Nowadays, forensic sector is also, increasing at a alarming place. I would also like to state that toxicology and regulatory forensics are very important nowadays. There are a number of forensic science universities in India that is opening under HRD. So I believe that students must take an interest in that. And because each institute cannot be well equipped in forensic pharmacy and all, so institutes like you and others also can tie up with NIPERS, they can tie up with NFSU, or some sort of even institutes like BARC, etc., for radiopharmaceutical. Because how to dispense a radiopharmaceutical, how to prepare it. Sometimes even I have read an article where it is stated that even sometimes the pharmacist does not know that we need to wear such type of gloves while making some sort of radiopharmaceuticals, radionuclides, before the injection to the patient. So such type of awareness programs, as well as some sort of trainings, will be very, very useful for the students. So all in all, what I can say is biotech and genomic integration can help our students getting equipped with personalized medicine era. What are the biological therapeutics? Because biological monoclonal antibodies, etc., vaccines, because India is also, proud to make the Covishield and all. So we have number of infectious diseases. So at least giving them an insight that what a vaccine is about, all these sort of things can, prepare them very well. So nowadays, according to the NEP also, we should be having a multidisciplinary and innovation driven. So what I'm telling, that how innovation driven, we must be asking them to align with a certain product and lead their way onward. Because if you will be challenging them, if you will be, uh, what I can say, inspiring them to do better, I think they will be definitely doing wonders down the line. So this skill integration can help in problem solving. It can help in building more and more confidence and real clinical experience. It can also reinforce the pharmacist role in primary healthcare also, because sometimes they may even go for primary healthcare centers and can assist them, so they can get an idea that what actually patients are like, are lacking. Because everywhere in India, primary healthcare centers are becoming only, merely providing a very brief, some sort of sickness and then all these sort of things type of treatment, and their whole, all the time they are recommending to some, tertiary care hospitals. And many a times the treatment might not be affordable. So how they can intervene over there, what they can do. So I think in the local settings or in the regional settings, this will be very, very important. So skill integrated and experiential learning transforms pharmacy students into confident and patient ready professionals. They should not be only patient ready, they should be industry ready also. They must be synthesis ready, formulation ready. They must be ready for the novel delivery systems, modern analytical techniques, for example, LCMS, and then all these sort of things. Even if not available at a particular institutes, you can have a virtual tour, a sort of simulation environment, how it is being injected and all. So that is also possible at higher education institutes like NIPER and all that. You means you can tie up with the higher education institutes where all these facilities are there, and students might gain some practical insights. So educators like you, because entrepreneurship is also a very, very important aspect of NEP 2020. In this Amrit Kal, they also say that innovation of the professionals, innovation brought up by the professionals, will be empowering this India, and will make in India campaigns successful. And only by then, by 2047, India will be a Viksit one. So innovation and startup ecosystems should be developed, and at every place, because all of you have ideas, all of you have skills and all. So sometimes we as educators do not have those type of guts to take that product forward. But if we can have some sort of team of our students and all, and they can also participate with us, and they can take the lead forward, it might lead to some sort of innovation as well as startup. And then a sort of entrepreneurship training might be provided, some talks or some sort of industrial leaders may be brought, and who should tell them how to break the ice initially. And it may lead to some sort of prototype development, patenting it. Securing the IP is also very, very important part nowadays, because government of India is endorsing that you should have at least an Indian patent. I request the institute and its stakeholders to please facilitate if there is any chance of prototype development and all, so that our innovation should not go outside. Because you can see Raman spectrometer. It was developed by our own honorable Professor Raman. But whenever we have to buy an Raman spectrophotometer, it always comes from Europe, or because we did not know about, with due regards, that we did not have much, knowledge at that time too, that what securing an IP will mean to us. So I request all of you that you please consider your innovations to be very powerful, and small is always beautiful. Please save it in the starting. It may be very, very helpful. So industry 4.0 in pharma is very important, and each one of us should be equipped with it. And NEP also states that we must be fully equipped with it, and we should also be integrating more and more digitalization in our healthcare for supply chains. And in case of supply chains also, how we can integrate, and although it is by and large a part of the industry, for example, Internet of Things, that is also very important, like AI. That suppose we are making a vaccine, and vaccine was to be supplied at -8 or -5 degrees Celsius. Is the temperature while finishing off the product from the lab to the point of the primary health care exactly getting maintained? We can all track this by means of trackers, by means of internet, where all the things are talking to each other in terms of signals. So we will get to know in the form of the Excel sheet that where the temperature was -8, where was -6, where it came to room temperature, and whether there are any chances of contamination or deactivation of the vaccine. So these are all very important aspects, and digitalization is an important part. So in NEP also, so Python based learning and AI has been come across all the 8 semesters. So AI driven, of course, things can be there. Then patient care has a very important component of AI nowadays. So using AI as well as Python will make future ready pharmacists. It might help in decreasing the industry and academia skill gap, because nowadays industry is also transitioning to several AI modules. So precision medicine is the future, and where our students should be skilled up. So pharmacy intelligence tools can be many, and they can be used anywhere across all these 10 sectors, that may be drug repurposing and maybe for better patient compliance, how to forecast that what sort of idiosyncrasies might arise. So AI can have a very, so what I was discussing earlier was virtual reality and augmented reality. So simulation type of experiments, making some sort of giving them an exposure in the lab that this is the actual environment. For example, during a molecular dynamic simulation studies, we try to simulate the environment that exists in the physiological pH of the human body. So in the similar way, we can also ask them to be in a virtual lab and all, and because we might not be having resources to reach that particular place, but by means of using YouTube or tutorials and then all these sort of things, we can definitely harness this. I also request every one of you to make an ecosystem for research, and we as pharmacy educators have a greater responsibility of that. So asking them to make certain sort of hypothesis and then validating it by means of whatever we are having. And I also request the institutions stakeholders to please make a good research ecosystem, because it might take years and years, but we have to start from a certain point. And also we should be having some translational focus like China, that we must be imagining that what product we may get down the line, and then we should start looking into some low hanging fruits, and we should endorse whether a student is able to make some sort of prototype, or even if he or she is able to and analyze a particular area in the form of, and can it be compiled up in the form of a publication. That needs to be also, it might take time. For example, one batch, second batch, third batch, fourth batch, it might take some time, but it will be giving them a sense of achievement that this is what we had done. It's actually like planting a tree, and whenever we come back to that place after 5-10 years, we say that yes, we had started working upon that, and then they will have tales to tell. It will also be a branding of Bharat technology and related institutes, including us also. So that might be very important aspect. So in case of modern analytical tools and techniques that are there and a part of a NEP, there are several techniques and tools coming. Hyphenated techniques are coming. So students must be given at least an introduction to that, their basics and all. And you can also make a sort of YouTube video, and you can download it, or you can even see from, so you can see means LCMS and then all these equipments. There are a number of tutorials they are given online, so they will have a sort of they that it looks like that seeing is actually believing for them, that this is the case, and then we can also sometimes handle this equipment in future. So that is very important. And equally important are pharmacognosy and sustainability, because in pharmacognosy India has always been very strong. So we should be uh, teaching them it very well, sustainable resource, how we can sustainably harness a plant and can do all sort of scientific studies, how by simultaneously conserving it. Then teaching them green chemistry principles very well is actually the responsibility of all of us. So sustainable drug development, what we can do, how we can develop a drug sustainably, as well as can supply it through green chains, that's also very important. And NEP 2020 in alignment, what I have seen is actually an opportunity for environmental stewardship also, and interdisciplinary learning, and responsible innovation in pharmacy education is very much important. And as earlier explained, that interprofessional education will equip them in versatile settings. So that will be also very important. But we as pharmacy educators need to see where they fit quite well. So that might be very important. So by there could be a small roadmap to it, that we can bring some sort of short-term reforms and objective structured clinical examination, And then capacity building means upskilling our labs and modern labs, simulation facilities, at least, so they can have a better insight into that. And industry as well as healthcare linkages, so that they can go to primary healthcare centers, they can visit some API industry, and then they can see how the finish of product is being made. And the vision for 2047 all in all is that pharmacists as globally competent clinicians, innovators and entrepreneurs contributing to Viksit Bharat 2047. And this is what my final conclusion is, that educators need to transition from content delivery to mentorship, and fostering skills, critical thinking, empathy, and innovation in pharmacy students. As well as for the institutions like yours, we must build on ecosystems with the modern curriculum, simulation labs, research cultures, and industry linkages and incubation support. So with the institutional support, I think it will be branding for your institute's name also, and your students will become your ambassadors down the line. And it will be bringing laurels to our country. So for policymakers also, I think there should be certain that um, uh, means we should be not only speaking about India, we must be talking about global standards. So what are the emerging healthcare needs that should be told to the nation time to time. For example, when there was a period of the COVID, so at the time of the COVID, there was a national call that we all should start working upon COVID, and we all did our part also. As a part of NIPER also, we also conducted certain studies and all, and NIPER also participated in the testing, because it was at that time, for the testing of the individuals. And also, what is the national call, what is the local call, sometimes what is the state wise call, so that we all should consider. And a collaborative action is being required. Higher education institutes like us must be ready to collaborate with anyone else, and of course we are. And we should be all moving together, and we should act now to co-create a future-ready pharmacy workforce that drives innovation, patient care, and national growth. All in all, my aim for today's talk is that we should treat pharmacists as healthcare scientists and not merely as medicine sellers. With this, and I thank one and all for giving me this opportunity. And with this, I stop over here, and thank you very much for the opportunity given. I thank you one and all for giving me this platform, and I wish you all a very good luck, and I'm open to take any questions if there are any. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for this insightful presentation. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to
Okay.
hear you. Please.
I hope that it will help our participants in future days. Sir, there is a question that
Yeah.
means if you can discuss a little bit on the use of AI in fermentation technology and for the production of antibiotics and all.
AI in
AI in fermentation technology.
fermentation technology. And what was the second part?
And the second part was fermentation technology to provide antibiotics.
Okay. Honestly speaking, I have never worked upon fermentation, and I'm not well aware with how AI can assist in fermentation technology. But as far as the antibiotics are concerned, I can just answer in my own way, according to what I have read till date. For example, using AI, we can screen at a time almost 1000 to 1500 drugs against beta lactamase enzyme particularly. We can use the known and reliable anti-cancers also. We can see that what type of amino acids in the bacterial beta lactamase can be inhibited those drugs. We can have those drugs, we can get those drugs tested at versatile concentration, and we can predict whether they have a good DMPK profiling acting as an antibiotic or not. One major disadvantage with repurposing antibiotics is antibiotics are usually prescribed at very high dosage, for example, 500 milligram, 250 milligram, and all. So such type of dosage is required for a drug to, kill the bacteria as well as to surface in the systemic circulation. So such type of optimization might also be done using AI and its DMPK tools. But regarding the first point on fermentation, I am not aware much, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
Sir, another question is that what specific skills in AI and data science should pharmacy graduates prioritize to remain industry ready?
Okay. I believe this is a very good question. One particular skill, our main aim should be to make our students maybe to jack of all trades, but master of one, at least one. So what my opinion is, for example, how we educate our students is because we do not have graduate students B.Pharm like you, but we do have PG and PhD students. What we oftenly tell them, having a computational software which is AI enabled, we ask them to go from very large data screening. For example, from zinc database having 14 million compounds, 12 million compound, or 6 million compound. Then we ask them to shortlist that how against this particular target you are shortlisting. So at least they know that if we are having one particular target in mind, how we can harness these 14 million compounds to merely selection of 50 molecules particularly. So such type of skill can be also applicable to material science. For example, if a student is very well versed in what type of materials can be developed, what type of biomaterials can be developed, so he can have such type of training in a particular module of the AI. So I believe it will be person to person specific, Dr. Mandal, that for example, a person is interested in synthesis, he can have a retrosynthetic reaction module where he can have synthesis of hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah yeah so in yeah so in case of synthesis also, it might be person to person specific, that what is exactly your need. If you are interested in drug discovery, you must be knowing that how to shortlist a very large database into small conceivable bench ready molecules. In case of a formulation scientist, you should be able to have some sort of AI based modules learned at your end. There are many, for example, DFT, MESP, QMMM model, which are nowadays AI enabled. So students can choose, they have a multiple options to choose from that. And then whenever you assign that task to them, they become very well equipped into that how to have a very large database and to concise it into 10, 20, 25 molecules to work upon only. So it may be QMMM based, it may be AI and drug discovery based, repurposing molecule, DMPK. There are number of modules in AI enabled computational softwares down the line. Yeah.
Sir, another question is that can we learn AI from platforms like NPTEL or Coursera? Is it relevant to add AI in multiple instances in the newly framed syllabus?
While the first one I'm not aware about, but regarding Coursera, I'm aware because in Coursera there are certain modules which are being given. But what I believe that we must be going through the guideline of the courses very carefully. Are they providing some experiential learning? For example, online tutorials adjusting to their time zones. For example, I am sitting here, I want to practice certain module, and they are also equally guiding me, and there is a class of 20, 30 students. So such type of module should be practiced. Otherwise, Coursera, they handles the courses very well. They handle the courses very well, and their tutorials are very worth containing and all, and you get an idea of how the things are moving into that. Of course, Coursera is very good in that. Yeah, I do recommend that. Yeah.
Sir, in relation to that, is there any chance of dilution of the core subjects?
Please pardon me. Repeat the question, please.
In relation to the means applying the AI and AI based syllabus, is there any chance of dilution of the core subjects?
Okay. See, the thing is this, the dilemma that you are facing is common to all of us, because whenever we enter into the classrooms right now, so students always have one thing or one curiosity about AI, AI, AI. Sir, why we are doing this? Why we are understanding medicinal chemistry? Because when everything is being done by the software, then what is our role going to be down the line? So this biasness is definitely coming, and we are all facing this, but we should always be trying to see that of course NEP is a curriculum and they have recommended certain parts of it. What I mean to say is this, that we should try to pick up only the bare minimum which is possible in our own local setup, because if we will be delving too much into too much of modules and all, it might dilute the overall curriculum, because without basics there can be nothing known as applied, and AI is highly applied science. So it's not like that AI will be going to replace everything else and all. We must not, I agree to you this question, that we should not dilute the course which is already there. Rather, we should only use these things or these new topics as a launching platform for the future. And they should be taking a certain part of it. Rest we can assign them as an assignment and all, because we do need such type of infrastructure. We need, lot of funding into that to, have everything under one umbrella, which is virtually not possible, to be honest, in any setting, including any institute. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful session. So now I'd like to request
My
our
pleasure.
technical team to present a token of appreciation from our institute. Sir, is it visible to you?
Yeah, it is visible to me. Thank you very much. I thank you one and all for the patient listening and the intellectual volley of the questions being thrown upon. Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Have a nice day, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you once again to the intellectual capital of India. Thank you. Pleasure speaking to all of you. Bye. So may I log out now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So here we are concluding our first up session for today's FDP presentations and all. Today's second up session for the second up will start from 2 p.m.